live, but I normally go live when I kind of have a big product release like this. So hopefully you guys will join in for a minute and then we'll just talk about these two vehicles. Because now we have not just one 100-mile-per-hour RC car, we now have two and 120 miles, 121 is what I got on it. So we'll see if you guys tune in, get these notifications out, and see who comes live. This is, like I said, spare the moment. So if you're seeing this and it's not live, give it a few minutes or so. It takes people to get the notifications and all kinds of stuff that's going to go through. And we will wait for you guys to come on. What's going on, Brandon? Hope the quality's pretty clear here. I figure since this is the RC car the internet's talking about, we go ahead and just go live for a minute. I'm going to run these two. I was going to do it the other day. Willie Brandon beat you. You're second, but it's still good. The first three are always the top three. And I just want to talk about these cars real quick because there's some questions people are asking me between the two. Some people still have an X01 and some people have the Limitless. I should have got my version 2 out, but I didn't go to get it from storage. But we'll talk about the versions 1, 2, this newer version, and then the X01 and stuff instead of me trying to do a video because I've run both of these cars, meaning that I've run the version 1 against X01. And you guys, I've got videos out there, so there's tons of videos. I may even play it on this TV while I'm down here. But anyway, let me get to these comments real quick because this is not about me getting on here and yapping. So we got several. We got about 29 people. If you guys can smash that like button for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And we're going to get into answering any questions you guys may have about the new Limitless 120. And then I'll talk briefly about the X01. I'm going to try to get them out this week. I'm supposed to have some rain and stuff, but I'm going to run both of these cars. But I got videos of them out there. And I want to talk about the versions 1 and 2. I should have brought them in here, but I didn't. And the difference between those two with this one and why Arrma probably did this right here. And then we're going to take a look. And I'm going to talk about this X01 too, because I think Traxxas, once they see this, they're going to come out and they're going to come out with an 8S version. But they need to do some stuff to make this really hook up. But let me give a shout out to everybody who's on here. Sleek Hobbies, what's going on? GB5 or GBC 505. I wish they got better colors. Yeah, I actually, for me, I think they try to replicate what Proline did when they had the version 2 and it was the body you had to paint yourself. I think they try to replicate that color, but this red looks good to me. I mean, I like the red color and the other one's the white and blue too. I think a couple YouTubers got that one, but I like this red because it stands out. But you can always buy a clear body if you want with that. What's going on, Star Garage? Franklin, what's going on? Willie says Traxxas is Traxxas is trash. Well, this is a 12? No, this is about a 15-year-old car. No, about 10 to 12 years old. And I'm gonna go through that as we're going live with this because I want to be able to talk about this. So Ronald says, I can't wait to pre-order one. Well, there's a link in the description, Ronald. If you want to help the channel out, there's a link down below in the description where you can go ahead and get a pre-order. And there's one also in the video that I first put out for this. It helps support the channel and stuff. And I'd appreciate it if you did. And if you didn't, if you go somewhere else and get it, it's fine. But if you want to, there is a link also in the description in this video too, where you can pre-order one. So Big Grizzly said it should have been a Talon or a Typhon. I'm going to say this while you guys are on here. I don't know anything that they have coming out with. Let me first put that out there. But I think at some point in time they will, because why else would they create the motor that is in here and with the 8mm shaft? Because that's going to be a lot of, it's a high kV motor for a 7-scale car. And they'll probably use it for a Typhon or something. I could see a Typhon and or a Talon coming pretty soon and putting this motor in it with the speed controller and saying 100 mile per hour, whatever, because they need something to compete with the XRT. Arrma does, because Traxxas still does, they do good with their monster truck. The X-Max is still unbeatable. It's hard to beat that X-Max. And the XRT is good too. I like my XRT. So Arrma still has yet to compete with those particular vehicles. But if they do a Typhon, I do believe they'll put this motor in there and they'll probably change some stuff out or something like that. So that's just my 2 cents and my prediction. I could be completely off and wrong, but Let's go back. What's going on, Perry? Appreciate you guys. If y'all can, go ahead and smash that like button. I'll answer you guys' questions. As you know, if you've been on my channel and followed me for a while, you guys know when I go live like this, I want to do close-ups, answer any questions, and be truthfully honest about the vehicle. I try not to cover anything up. I try to be as truthful as I can. If there's any flaws or issues, I'll let you guys know all that. So RC Jones says, "Hey JT, I saw your video about the Limitless 120 and now I want one." It's a good one. If you do not have a 100-mile-per-hour car in your arsenal, I would say get it. The X01 has a hard time getting to 100 miles per hour. I know that they've done some changes. This is the actual version 1 because the version 2 has a bigger wing and it's got a hole in the back of the body. And I think they adjusted the steering or something with it. But I can get this X01 to 100 miles per hour. I can get it, I think it was 104, and I should probably play the video here while I was running it. But I'm going to try to get these out this weekend. The thing about the X01 is going to be the weight. Now, to make this X01 handle and stick, you have to put weight in here. And that's what I've done. So even though I'm going to be running one 6S lipo, I put 2 in here for weight. When I did the 100-mile-per-hour run before, I had 2 6S's in there. I just hooked one up, of course, and it was actually planted. So if Traxxas decides to go in and redo the X01, they'll definitely have to change several things. Now, one thing about the X01 you guys may or may not know, this has actually got 10 scale differential gears, and it's got the Slash, Stampede 4x4, whatever front and rear gearbox. Of course, the Cush Drive, whatever they're calling it back there, is not, but that's something they'll definitely have to change, is get bigger gears and stuff. This has to be redone completely to compete in today's market, especially against the infraction and felony. You would think that by now Traxxas would have updated this, but they haven't done it yet. But we'll get more into that in just a minute. It does have a castle system in there that is not waterproof. And what KV is that motor? If you guys can, I can't remember. I can't think of it. I had so much stuff going on today. But it's got, I mean, people have run 8S on that KV motor, but it's just for a pass or two with that. But let me get back to these comments real quick. What's going on, Ronnie? Appreciate you joining in. Derek, so you think the X01 is coming out? They may come out with the platform. I think this has been a long time coming. I mean, the update they did last year is cute, but it's still, you still couldn't get 100 miles per hour. If it says 100 on the box, you should be able to pull it off. Now, people have gotten it, but if you've watched some of the earlier videos, a lot of them was going airborne too. So I think one of the recent videos I watched maybe several months ago was RC Driver trying to get it up there, and I think he had a hard time getting there because it's just too light. It needs weight. It needs to drink some muscle milk, protein shake, eat some peanut butter for breakfast or something. But once you put weight on here, it can handle the 100 miles per hour. Now, as far as racing it and stuff, you'll definitely have to change out the tires, some foam tires on it. And I did that in a couple of my videos. I even built one from scratch. I had a Stampede 4x4, and I went in and I basically built one from there. But anyway, let me get back here. Dozer boys, what's going on? Trying to get an owner to grab this Limitless from this shop. Okay. Oh yeah, that backflip. That was a butt cheek squeezing backflip, y'all. I've done backflips before. When I got the infraction, the version 1, I took it out for a speed ride. I did a backflip too. Now, it's not like I was trying to do a backflip with it. With the infraction, I put my SMC lipos in, and this was 4 or 5 years ago. And it's on my channel. I have to find it and do a compilation of Arrma's flips and all this stuff with their cars. But I did a backflip with that too, and that scared me too. And you'll see it. It just came straight down. And actually, when the car backflipped up, I hit the brake because I was kind of used to that from jumping RC cars and doing backflips. So that's what made it backflip up and kind of come down a little bit better with that. Because if I didn't do that, it would have just kept. It would have probably did maybe almost a 720, and it would have slid and tore his body all up. So I've seen the backflips before. And the reason why it did do a backflip is because I took these completely off, which I shouldn't have did. But I was just trying to experiment with it. And the wind, of course, came straight up over this and went straight to that back wing and took it straight up in the air. Now, if I had trimmed this back wing some, it probably wouldn't have did it. But I didn't want to cut into that Arrma sticker and stuff. But what I did do to reach my 121 mile per hour, on here, I did trim this down. You probably can't see it when I don't have a light on here. but I did trim that down. So when you get this, there's going to be 4 lines. I did trim to the 3rd line down. So there's another line that's there. Let me see if I can get this flashlight up so you guys can see this. You see those little lines in there? There's 4 of them when you get this originally. So I trimmed down the first 3. I think I went down to the 3rd line. So I kind of left 2 on there. And that's what I did to achieve the speed I got. I thought I was going to have to lower the vehicle down because it does have droop screws. And you can lower it down some. But I didn't have to do that. So thank God I didn't have to do that. But that's why it did the backflip. So I put these back on. And then I went ahead and trimmed it down. And then I did my 121 mile per hour pass with it. So One the Hustler says he's got a lot of RC, but doesn't have one that he just ordered. The blue and white one. Sweet. Well, congrats on that. Jones RC says he has an X01, a felony, and a Vendetta. Yeah, 1650. Thanks. I couldn't think of what KV motor that was. And this is 6S only. So I'm pretty sure Traxxas is going to come out with an 8S X01. They may use a C8 Corvette body on it. I don't know. And they may put their 8S speed controller in it. But this is a Castle one. It's not waterproof. So if a drop of water gets on there, it is pretty much done. And this is about my 6th or 7th X01, y'all. I mean, X01's been out for a long time, and I've had a lot of cars. So when Arrma released their 7-scale cars, it was pretty much a done deal for me with buying X01. Like I said, this is about my 7th X01, I think, that I've had. So yeah, I've had a lot of them. I've played with them. I've crashed them. I think the other one I had, I crashed straight into a curve. It was crazy. And it literally just bent everything up. But they are easy to work on, and parts are cheap for it too. All right, appreciate that. You guys tell me 1650. Yeah, my mind just, I couldn't think of what it was for the life of me. So Zachary saying, off top of, what do you think of the Arrma Big Rock 2 to 3S? I have one, so I'm going to do more videos coming up on that. And I also got a Quake. I ordered a Quake. It's way over there. So so you guys will see that Quake coming up probably this weekend. I went ahead and ordered a purple Quake. So, but the Big Rock is good. I think it's, for me, one of the better 10-scale trucks out there. I know a lot of people don't like that 2 to 3S system. The ones I've had have been fine. The only one I had an issue with was with the Granite. And I just had to, my battery was kind of acting up. And I'll get all those vehicles out at some point in time and drive them. So Danny says the X01 will do 100, but it will fight you. Yep, it sure will. I can only get the X01 to 100 weight in it because it's so light and it's so fragile when it starts to get to those speeds. It does scare you, especially if you've never driven a 100 mile per hour car. This was the first vehicle I got to 100 miles per hour. So the X01 was. So I give Traxxas props, and I still give them props for having this, but they should have updated this by now. So anyway, let me get back to some of these. Will Johnson says, I think the price should be lower. The Limitless roller. No, the Limitless roller is $429, I believe. The V2 is $429 for that. I personally think they priced this right because at $429, then you have to buy a system for it. Now, if you buy, I think the motor that's in here costs $159 or $54, and it shows like $180 or something. That already puts you at almost $800, and that's without the radio, and then also without the receiver and the servo. And then of course you get the center diff with this. So I think that they priced this, in my opinion, right. Now the V2, we can talk about that in just a minute because there are differences. I mean, between this, the V1 to V2. And they mentioned it in Arrma, put a video out today, and they talked about if you got a Limitless already set up for speed and stuff, you should probably get one where you can kind of speed bash, which would be this right here. So George says, I see right. He got 71, 35. He got 110. Okay. What's going on, Prince? I know some of you guys I haven't seen and talked to you in a while, so I'm gonna get to all these questions. So if you have a question about this, put it in here and I'm going to get to it. So trust me, when I go live like this, I try to make sure I answer all your questions. We get in close with this, and some of the stuff I just can't remember. I forget, like the X01's KV motor. I forgot what it is already. A 1717, 1650 KV motor and stuff. So, because I got a lot that I have going on sometimes. So my brain is cluttered with all kinds of stuff, but that's what you guys are here for, to help me out. What's going on, Jeremy? Yeah, Limitless, the V2 is it's like 429 for the roller, I think, but it's on backward. Yeah. They may have just came in and redid all the Limitlesses and put this, and they may do a version 2 with this stuff in it. At some point in time, if you guys want to see it, let me know. I'll get my version 2 out and I'll put these electronics in it and then I'll run it. Somebody did say in one of the comments that they did see a slight speed difference between the versions 1 and 2, that the version 2 was faster because of the shorter drive shaft and stuff. But I personally didn't like that too much. I like the bigger batteries because I have SMC lipos too that are big. It kind of limited me to higher milliamp lipos. So when I went out to drive my other one that had the center diff in it, I just didn't have a long battery life, and I was limited to certain batteries. Yeah, I've had several XO1s, so. And yep, I got a purple Quake. It does look the best. I should have got a red one to match this, but I got a purple Quake, so. LeBron says the XO1 was his first car, his first electric car. Yeah, the handling is bad. Once you change the tires out, you get some foam tires on it with a TSI radio. It's good for about 60 plus miles per hour. When you start getting up to higher speeds, that's when that weight that it doesn't have starts to play against it. So Zachary got a dark green. I think you're talking about a Quake. So yeah, I'll be taking him out to the skate park. I'll probably do a super speed Saturday. It's supposed to rain this weekend. Holiday weekend coming up, so I get to have a little fun. I may not do any videos, but we'll see. I appreciate that, Doug. I think it's Philly Joe or something. He has one too. So I've seen a couple people have it. I think he got 122 miles per hour, and I got 121. I may have gotten that 122, maybe 23. But remember, I was kind of running this a lot back and forth. I was trying to let it cool down and trying to put some kind of charge on the batteries before I was running because I was losing light, and I wanted to see if I would get that, speed with it. And I got it. Now, fully charged batteries, I'll probably get the 100 and you can probably with fully charged batteries, 'cause I believe he ran down once. I saw it and came back, and then he took it down again and ran it. So for a fully charged battery, you'll probably get between 120 and 124 or so with it. Now, with other milliamp batteries, we got a higher milliamp, a higher C rating, and all that stuff. You'll probably get a lot faster, which I'll put that to the test at some point too. But I appreciate that, Doug. Yeah, I do got the record for the backflip though. That's not my first backflip either. So yeah, Traxxas is no longer the fastest name in RC. They did hold that when they had this. I'm not gonna lie. Regardless of what everybody else came out with, they still had this because people still did get it to 100. It took a lot to get it there, but you could gradually get it there with a big old long runway and put some weight on and do the aero package and all that stuff on there. Get the different front splitter and stuff for it, but they did. But now it's pretty much gone to Arrma right now. Now this is gonna open the world up for a whole bunch of speed cars. So be ready for some either fictitious claims from other companies coming out with it, or they're gonna do 125, and it's gonna take a lot to get there. But we'll see what these other companies come out with. Right now, they have the fastest one. George said, "How much is this?" George, are you talking about? It should be in the it should be in the thumbnail too. This is 799. This is 749. This is 6S and this is 8S. Yeah, Doug, so you want the V1 with the V2 extended spool. I just wasn't a fan of those batteries. That's what just turned me off from that. And I couldn't put a center diff in there, so I couldn't run it like I could this. That's what I didn't like about that V2 is I wanted to put a center diff. Now you can buy there's some components you can buy overseas, and I have them in the other room actually where I can turn a V2 where I can put a center diff in it, but you have to buy custom drive shafts and center drive shafts and stuff for it. But you can do it, and I actually have stuff out there to do it. I just never did it. But that's an extra 80 to 100 bucks, I think it was, to be able to put a center diff in there. I I think if Arrma made it to where you could put the center diff in, they would have to change a lot of that stuff. I probably would have liked it a little bit more, but that was just like I said, that was just me. So yeah, and if you guys can smash that like button for me, I'm gonna get to these questions. So I appreciate that. What's going on, Addicted to RC and Dozer Boy RC? I appreciate it. So Star I said this is basically a V2. Are you talking about the Limitless? Because this will be a version 3. This is the third version of this. So what's going on, Jeremy? Oh, Doug said Amazon in Canada put the V2 on sale for 160 off. I don't know what that is as far as your price goes. I did look on Amazon. I didn't see any of V2s out there, but I'm pretty sure they'll go on sale within the next day or so. So if you guys pick up on those or pre-order this or do what you want to do. I wonder how fast the new Limitless on 6S with the stock center diff and pinion. I can find out. I'll try to remember to do that, but for me, it would be better just to get 8S. And the reason why I say that is because on the radio, you can regulate the speed. You can go from 75 or you can go from 100 to 75 to 50. So it'd be better just to have 8S lipos or 4S lipos and just turn it to 75. Now, if you only have 3S lipos, you don't want to buy batteries, then of course. But I'll try to maybe do that at some point in time if I just do some regular running, because I got some friends we're going to just do some racing with. Not as far as speed racing, but racing around a track and stuff. The fastest I've ever had this 850 RC is 121 miles per hour. I think I got enough people to say in the original video I put out earlier today to say gear up. So I have a 38 tooth pinion gear. That's an 8mm shaft, and that's mod 1 that they want to see in it now. That may be too much for this speed controller, but we'll see. The fastest RC car that I've ever driven that I've built was my Limitless, and I think it was 147. It was close to 150. I remember that because the area that I drove this at, I think the record there was 145 or something. But I did get it up to, I think it was 146. I can't remember, but it was close to 150, and that's fast, especially for that area too. You saw how this ran at 121, and I stood on top of my SUV and to get range so I could see the vehicle. And I went all the way down to the end. I came all the way down. So we'll see what this does this weekend if the weather holds up. Ronnie says, "Hey, I know this is off topic, but have you ever had a lipo fire?" Yes, I have. I've had one or two before. Sergeant Rock says, "I built my first Limitless V2 this spring with the Hobbywing ESC and motor. I don't have room to run it, but it's fast." He got up to 103. Yeah, just with that V2 with that spool in it, if you just want to do some general running, it's going to be hard to do. You can do it, but it's just going to be hard on the electronics and stuff. With the center diff, you can do it, and that's why I'm glad they went to putting a center diff in there. So the motor didn't get really hot, but I know the ESC did because I did run it after the video and it did thermal. So the ESC did. So you'll have to, if you plan on running back to back, and that's not what I recommend doing, but what I did, you shouldn't do. You definitely want to put some more cooling in there, or definitely let the car cool down some. Yep, and it has a center diff in here stock, and then you can put the spool and stuff in there. Yeah, I mean the Hoons is what they have now. Maybe if you guys want to know tires, GRPs are good too. Now GRPs are a lot smaller, but you should have sets of tires for running, I guess, generally, and then a set of tires for speed runs with it. I know that I do. When I want to go out to an event or something, I kind of want to, it depends on where the event is and the weather and temperature and stuff. I'll bring some Hoons if I want to just do some smoking and kind of show out. But I also bring a set of maybe worn down GRPs that I can kind of drive around and stick and stuff like that too. So when you start getting into stuff like that, it is good, just like a regular car. You wouldn't take a race car and drive it in the street, just like you wouldn't take a street car and drive it on a racetrack. You do have to have a certain tire compound for it. So, well, I guess the other body color. No, I'm gonna be good. I like the red. I mean, unless I do something to this, but then there's no use in me. coming out and buying other bodies and stuff. So what's going on, Danny? Appreciate you joining in. Okay, Doug, I will check that out. Yeah, RC Fitness 38. You can get that 90 miles per hour and still perform good. I mean, I got 80 stock out the box. So if you want to get a couple miles per hour, and I'll probably do that when I put that 38 in, I'll probably run it with the center diff, and then I'll also run it with the spool just to see the speed and the temperature. I'll bring a couple of batteries, let it cool off a little bit, show you guys the temperatures if I can get time to do all that. Because the place I have to run this at, it's far. It's about 40 miles from my house. Some of the other warehouses are okay, but they just got bumps and stuff in it. So yeah, you should be good. Just take care of the lipos, and if they start to go bad or puff up, just kind of get rid of them. So yeah, just get you a lipo bag. But if you take care of them and stuff, and don't overcharge them, and don't puncture holes of them, you should be good. So what's going on, rest of youth? Rest of youth, appreciate you joining. Never late to the party. We'll be on there for about another 10 or 15 minutes. I'm trying to get through some of these questions. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If you want to see something up close or know anything like that, let me know. Because that's kind of the purpose of us going live like this. And then answered any questions, and you guys may converse amongst each other as well. So 850 RC says, with my infraction, the Hoons felt like it was on ice at times. No, this one did good. And it all depends on the AVC if you have it turned up and stuff like that. I mean, I've run the Limitless before, and then I put GRPs on it to run it, but it should be fine for what we're going to do with the Hoons. I'll try to get out and get a running video because I know you guys want to see it, where it's just running stock out the box. The speed stuff is cool, but not everybody wants to go 100 miles per hour. They want to go 80 and have some fun with it. So I'm going to show you guys how much fun you can have with it when it goes 80 miles per hour stock out the box. So stay tuned for all that coming. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you joining in. What's going on, Troy? If you guys can, smash the like button for me. Oh, your Troy says he saw that backflip. Yeah, that backflip was pretty interesting. So yeah, I did it with, like I said, my infraction earlier when I first got it, and I've done a with my Creighton EXP. I did a cartwheel. It was about 50 cartwheels. It just rolled down the street on a cartwheel. So I'll put a compilation video together that shows all that stuff at some point in time. So what's up, Aaron? And George says, all right. He's getting now 2:30. Okay. Have fun at work, man. Think about this. I'll put up some more videos this weekend. So Doug says he wants to see the new GP9 gears I did between the GP5 gears. Yeah, I'll have to do that. I mean, I know they did a couple of things to this that I didn't discuss in the video. I just didn't have time to sit up here, take stuff apart, show this and that. It's a lot to do that. It really is. It's a lot, especially when you guys know I have 2 YouTube channels, work, I author books, train. I have a lot of stuff going on. So I try to show what I can, but maybe at some point in time when it'll probably be a month when I take this apart and kind of go through the gears, I'll show you guys that. Can we see a close up of the drawing of the which car? You want to see the Limitless or you want to see the X01? Yeah, backflip was crazy, and I caught them both on camera. So, all right, somebody wants to see a close up of the Limitless while we're here. We'll stay live for not too much longer. Not sure exactly what you want to see, but I'll move this over here real quick, and I'll shed some light. Troy says, "XO who?" He's still out there in the live. Let me put this light on real quick. You guys can see this a little bit better. If my light comes on, there we go. Not sure exactly which I want to see up in here, but now one thing I will get right here, there's an aluminum piece that I'm going to get that is going to be aftermarket piece. I want to remove that plastic one out of there because as you start doing that over time, that does wear down. What's going on, Thor? Appreciate that. We're just sitting up here talking, looking at these vehicles real quick. So people want to see a close up of this. So like I said, I got a 38 and that 38 should fit in there. I should have a problem with that. So that's going to be somewhat of the close up of there. Everything else is basically just like a limitless. If you've seen the felony and infraction and stuff, you're kind of seeing some of the same layout. They did change several things with this though, but so hopefully that gave you the close up that you wanted to see. Yeah, I mean it's gonna be who was the other one that had a felony looking car come out? I think that was Serpent's got one, but it's a 6S car. But I think once again Arrma has pretty much opened a can of worms, not in a bad way, with coming out with this car right here and making it the fastest one at 120 plus miles per hour. If you put an 8S in there, I've seen guys run 8S in the XO1, but they changed a lot of stuff out. You will get 150 miles per hour, but they had to do a lot of stuff. I don't think it'll do it if you put the Traxxas 8S ESC, and I don't think it's strong enough to pull that. But I'm pretty sure someone has tried it. Maybe I'll try that. Take the ESC out my X-Max and put it in here and run it on 8S and see. So Johnson's Electronics, what has him intrigued the most? Are you talking about in the Limitless? So the Limitless has a 1450 kV motor. What you're running with that 1250 is what I run in my other Limitless. By version 1 is what I run in there with that 1250 motor. That's the same thing as in the Creighton 8S and the Outcast 8S. And I do run it with a center diff, and I do run on 80. I do run it with 8S. I think I get about 90 miles per hour or something with a 46.2 center diff. And I think I'm running about a 28 to 32 pinion gear. Yeah, I'm pretty sure once they release this out, a lot of people are going to buy this motor. I can see people putting motor in their Creighton. Their Creighton and Outcast, and I can see people buying this whole setup and putting it in like a Mojave and all that stuff. So I see that once this stuff gets released, people are going to be doing a lot more stuff with this. No, the XO1, like I said, the XO1 needs weight. That's what it needs. From my experience of running this, it just needs weight and it needs some better tires if you're going to go all out. If you're going to run stock out the box, it'll be fine with the TQI radio and stuff, but it needs weight more than anything else because you got to understand that this XO1, I kind of got those batteries pretty much double-sided taped in there. You see that? That's only the aluminum on this chassis, so it's very thin too. I think that's about what, a millimeter or two, and then the rest of this is plastic. So you'll have to either do like I did, put some weighted batteries in there. I've seen people put weights on the side of it. Once you put weight on this, it handles a lot better. The body, like I said, on the newer version, they did change it up a little bit. They should have changed the whole car up, but it just needs weight. That's all it is to it. There's no doubt about it. Once they put some weight on it and they do some changes to it, I think it'll be better. I'm pretty sure they'll come out with an XO2 or whatever they'll call it probably next year. If you're gonna run an 8S car, get a Max 5. Go ahead and spend the extra money because you'll be happy. Because you're gonna get used to that speed and you're gonna want to upgrade. So a Max 6 will be the best thing for you to do there with that. I'm just gonna put these bodies over here real quick in case you guys are wanting to see this. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get this video where I'm gonna run them both together. I can actually probably play something on the TV if I can find it real quick. And you guys will see just what I'm talking about. While you're looking at that, let me try to find something. You guys can talk amongst yourself while I try to pull something up. Let me see. I think I got a couple of videos. I'm just looking at basically, I'm pulling up my channel. I'm looking at a couple of videos and I'll show you guys. Like that's one of my Limitlesses there. You guys can probably somewhat see that. This is Friends Limitless. And I got friends that run these cars too, so you guys see some of it there. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pull up a video where I had both of the vehicles out. Yeah, here is one right here. I'm gonna try to play this on this screen real quick. And you guys will see what I'm talking about. This will connect. And going back to any questions y'all may have real quick. So we already answered the Max 5 question. Don't know why this isn't connected, but we'll give it a minute. Uses all he needs is that motor. This Limitless, no, it's a different motor. It's a 1450. It's a totally different motor than the 1250. I appreciate it, Doug. I just saw that. Sean, too, said that. Yeah, RC cars can be something, but you can do something. They got like Easy Pay, Klarna, and all that stuff if you want to break the payments up. So there's no shame in breaking payments up over 4 or 5 or 6 months. I don't know. On a Vendetta, it's going to be a lot of things that depends on that. I don't know why this isn't connecting. It was supposed to connect. Some reason I'm having a couple of problems, so we will try this one more time. Here we go. Hopefully this will connect up here. So that's my V1 Limitless right there. So we're watching the TV to watch the TV. Got to get through my little intro. But I didn't max these cars out with this. That's when I forgot the name of that shop that used to make custom stuff for it. So CX-01 spin out already. See, once you get the X01 going, the tires get worn in. Somebody get warmed up, they do a little bit better. Now this had an advantage because I had Power Hobby tires on there. They were a little bit wider, but they didn't stick that well. But I like the way it looked because it gave it an IndyCar look. RC Speed Monster was the name of the company. That's had that aluminum stuff on there. He custom made JTRC and stuff on there. So that's why, I mean, I just go in, I talk about it. So I've already done a video where I compared the two. But here you guys can see the X01 running. Hopefully y'all can still see it pretty good. Get this coasting down here. And I think it was about maybe 75, 80 degrees. And I don't know what gearing I had up in there, but you get some proper weight on here. It doesn't do bad at all, guys. I'm pretty sure Traxxas. So that's running the X01 right there. 2.0. And this video is 3 years old. So anyway, back to you guys' questions real quick. All right. No problem on that. Let me go back to Miss Question. I think I'm missing a couple of things. Going back, going back. What's going on, Prince King RC? I'm trying to go up a couple of these. 850 RC says, good looking out on the horizon, I'll sell. Yeah, some people don't like it that I do that, but it's fine. I mean, if I see stuff, I want to let you guys get on it as well, so. All right, Doug, I'll see you later. I'm going to be getting off of here, too, in a few minutes. I want to make sure I answer everyone's question, which I think I have. No problem, Rodney. I appreciate you joining. I try to be as honest as I can. If something goes wrong or something, I'll let you guys know. I did end up chunking a tire, a hoon. I should show you guys the hoon. When I did that backflip, it took a big chunk out of it. With that, I think that's when I did that speed run. That's what popped off was the rest of that tire when I did this at 121 miles per hour. That's what flew off. But when I did that backflip, it did land on the back and it did chunk a piece off of it off. So. Yeah, I actually, Franklin, put a light kit on my Limitless. I can probably pull that up. It looked like, people said it looked like a little bug, but I liked it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to show you guys this real quick. I know I'm kind of playing a TV and all that, but I want you guys to see the light kit I put on. Hopefully this commercial, I can skip through this. So you guys will see a light kit real quick before I get off of here. And it was just, I put a light kit on the infraction, and then you see how it looks like it has two little eyes there? You can kind of see it. I basically got some LED lights and I drilled the front part of this and I just put the lights through there. And then I had a light going through the back of it that went through the rear diffuser and stuff for it. But you guys see that there. You see those lights? And then, of course, I got some side mirrors I'm eventually going to end up putting on here, too. The same ones I kind of got on my Corvette, so I'll do that as well. So, guys, I'm about to get off of here. We've been on for about 40 minutes. I was going to be on for 30 minutes. I'll give it about another minute or two in case there's any questions you guys may have on either one of these. There's a new king in RC for the fastest one, and Arrma pretty much has that name. So I'm going to get off of here in just a second. I'm going to make sure that I answer any questions y'all may have or anything like that. Yeah, 3D printer, I mean, I've started that, but I just don't have the time. I can't put anything else on my plate to try to do. So, and then here's these cars running here. Well, all right, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all joining in for a minute. Hopefully, if I had any questions to answer, those all got answered there as well. Yeah, there's a light. Finally, I found it. Wasn't able to find it there for a minute. So, all right, well, I appreciate you guys joining, and I'm going to, hopefully this will let me sign up out of here. Because sometimes it hides the buttons for different platforms. So there it is. So, all right, I appreciate you guys joining, and I'll see you guys this weekend. Appreciate you joining in.